Hello everybody. So check out what I am standing next to. This is the all-new 2023 Lexus RX, and not just the regular RX. This is the brand new 500h F Sport Performance model. And what we're going to do tonight is take a quick look and walk around of this brand new Lexus model, because as you guys know, this is a very, very important product for the Lexus lineup. This is the best-selling Lexus SUV and one of the best-selling luxury vehicles, period, for basically the past 20 years. So let's go ahead and jump right in and see everything that's new with this brand new RX. So with this next generation of the RX, of course you're going to have a spindle grille because that is signature Lexus, but this is a new evolution of the spindle grille. One of the things you'll notice is that the grille itself doesn't really have a border anymore, and it basically blends into the body. Now, like I mentioned earlier, we are in the F Sport Performance model, the 500h. That is, of course, going to make this fascia more aggressive than the standard 350 model, which has a little bit of a different texture. This is going to be a full black mesh. The other big element, of course, with this next generation model is this kind of area that bleeds from the hood and goes into the grille. So when I first saw this, I was like, I don't know, but here in person, it actually looks pretty good. I do like how it just basically bleeds this whole spindle grille into the vehicle itself, makes it seem a little bit more cohesive and stands out a little less than in some of the past Lexus products. Now, I also want to go ahead and talk about your headlights. Now, no Lexus would be complete without having your full LED lights with that signature Arrowhead daytime running light. I am happy to see that has carried on for this next generation model. And of course, you do have the latest LED technologies with the crystal design. Obviously, we don't have it lit up right now, but you can kind of take a quick look inside of there. And it does look like we also have headlamp washers on board. And then this F Sport Performance model is going to throw in the LED fog lamps as well as the aggressive area down here in the lower fascia. Let's continue on to the side here and take a look at our wheels. Obviously, this is the fully loaded performance model, so we are going to have very nice looking wheels. With the RX lineup, you're going to have 19 through 21-inch alloy options. These are 21s. They're finished in the kind of a matte black. Let Mason kind of get close there and take a good look at that. Really nice looking in person, especially in contrast to the pearly white paint that we have on board. We also have black finish here for our brake calipers. And a big important part of this 500h performance model is the fact that we have the body colored moldings around the wheels as well as down the bottom and all around the back. So that again is going to support that very aggressive look on board, in addition to the blacked out mirrors that we have on board as well. Now let Mason go ahead and back up a little bit and we'll talk about the side. This is riding on Toyota's new GAK platform. And one of the interesting things about this is the fact that the wheelbase has been increased by 2 inches. However, the overhangs in the front and the rear have been decreased by 2 inches. And the end result of that is the fact that we actually have the exact same length overall as the outgoing generation, 192.5 inches. This is the standard wheelbase. We haven't heard any word on if the RXL is going to make a return for the new generation, but what we're seeing today is the standard wheelbase version. As we continue on, you can see that the floating roof line has made a return for this next generation model. It does look a little bit different. I like the way this kind of darkened chrome bleeds through the back here and lengthens this out a little bit. And the taillight also kind of comes into the side with a cool design, kind of a striped look to it. And then of course, as we move to the rear design, we're seeing a lot of big changes here. As you've seen with the NX, the new LX, we've got a new Lexus signature design. 2 elements are essential to that. That's the fact that we don't have the L-shaped badge. We actually have Lexus spelled out across the back. The other big element is the long, wide, full-length LED taillights that you see on board. So as you can tell, these go all the way across the back. and continue to have that really cool three-dimensional look. It's not just an appearance, the actual taillight itself is three-dimensional, which is something I've really enjoyed on a lot of the most recent Lexus products. Now, as far as some other design elements I'm noticing around, of course, you do have special badging to tell you that you've got the special version of the RX, or the most performance-oriented version. Additionally, down here at the bottom, you're going to have that performance mesh that's going to run down here. I do want to point out, you're not going to have any exposed exhaust pipes on any of the models, even this performance-oriented trim level. This is 2022 after all. Kind of exhaust pipes are going out of style as we move towards, you know, a zero emissions future. And of course, this is a hybrid model, even though it is a performance hybrid model.
Well, hey guys, so the sun went down on us a little bit prematurely, so this interior is very dark, and I do apologize for that. Hopefully we will be able to have a more detailed video in the daylight where you might be able to see the interior a little bit better, but I do want to talk about some of the feature highlights as well as some of the materials, and I am going to have to keep it brief because the last shuttle out of this place is leaving in a few minutes, so this is going to be a brief look at it. All right, so let's talk about the materials first. Up top, we do have a really nice soft touch plastic. As you can see right here, this is all gonna be a nice leatherette material. We have a unique trim piecing through here. And I'm also noticing we have Alcantara on the door trim that goes all the way up onto the dashboard. So that's a really unique touch. And that's in addition to your Mark Levinson speaker grille. Now, as far as other things going on inside this cabin, this is of course a very premium cabin. And unfortunately, we don't have the key in here to power on all the electronics, but we do have a really nice leather steering wheel. You can also see that we do have a digital gauge cluster here. This is, if I had to guess, I assume this is the same one that is on the all-new Lexus NX, which is a good thing because it's a nice high-resolution display. We also do have the steering wheel. We also have this right here. This is a sensor to monitor your eyes and make sure you're paying attention to the road for all of the advanced safety systems that this vehicle has. Now, we also have a really nice red leather interior on this model. I assume you will be able to get Lexus's typical gamut of interior color options. So red for the F Sport. You probably will be also able to get a white color if you prefer that. In addition to that, we'll talk about some of the storage space before we conclude this brief look at the cabin here. It folds out just like a lot of other Lexus products does. We have a nice felt line center console here, and it does open from both sides, which is a nice party trick. We have an electronic shifter here, and if I had the vehicle powered on, you would see that we have a 360 camera on this large display. Now, this is also a big point for the RX because they've completely upgraded the technology for this all-new model, as you would expect. You know, Toyota is throwing in a lot of different things with this model. So we're gonna have a really easy-to-use interface, just like we've seen in the all-new Lexus NX. Wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto as well is included. You're also gonna have all of your functionalities that you're going to expect, like integrated navigation system as well, and it's going to be their more advanced dynamic navigation. Up top, we do have a panoramic moonroof as well, and we'll hop in the rear real quick before we head out. All right, guys, so here's the rear seat of the RX. I don't know how much of this you'll be able to see. It's pretty dark back here, but I want to point out you have a lot of room, as you have with any RX. The seats are really comfortable, and here in the center, we are going to have some really fancy features. We have vents right here in the middle. We also have our own climate zones, which is a nice premium touch. We're also going to have heated and ventilated rear seats. That's a premium touch that we really don't see on a lot of vehicles nowadays. We also have 2 USB Type-C ports as well. Now let's go ahead and check out the cargo department. All right, so let's check out the cargo area. Once again, we don't have the exact specs or measurements for this all-new RX. However, as you would expect, you are going to have a lot of space. This is an RX after all. However, you know, like Drew mentioned on the outside, the actual overall length has not improved much for this generation. That said, the wheelbase is up over 2 inches. So I would expect you have a really good amount of cargo space back here. And if we lift up the cargo floor, we do have a spare tire. But that's going to pretty much wrap up what we're able to do right here today. We will have a more detailed video on our channel hopefully soon.
So with this next generation RX, we are moving into a future where Lexus is going to give you a lot of choices in terms of powertrain, both traditional and more futuristic with hybrid and plug-in hybrid options. So you are going to have a RX 350 still, but It's no longer going to come with that 3.5 V6 that you've probably been familiar with over the last few years. We're now switching that out for a 2.4 liter turbo 4-cylinder, the same one you might be familiar with that is also available in the Lexus NX that we reviewed on our channel a couple months ago. Additionally, after the RX 350, you have the 350h. That's going to be the traditional hybrid option. That's going to have a 2.5 4-cylinder plus the electric components on board. There's going to be a RX 450h Plus. That's going to be a plug-in hybrid model. No information is available on that right now, though Lexus will release some information at a later date. And then, of course, you have what we're standing next to right now. This is the RX 500h. As the H implies, of course, this is a hybrid powertrain, but this is pairing the hybrid powertrain with the 2.4 liter turbo 4-cylinders to give you the most power as well as the most dynamic system, because this is actually not the same kind of hybrid system as the RX 350h is going to be. As far as the important figures, of course, you're probably wanting to know what's the horsepower. 367 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque, so definitely very powerful. This is actually the most powerful RX ever made, including more powerful than the previous V6 450h hybrid model. But the other important thing you probably want to know is the fact that it does have a traditional 6-speed automatic transmission for that, maximum traditional feel, basically for the performance model. Standard 4-wheel drive is the direct drive 4-wheel drive system. And additionally, that's going to get you to 0 to 60 in a Lexus estimated 5.9 seconds. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed this decently in-depth walk around of the brand new Lexus RX, especially this one here in the brand new 500h hybrid configuration. This, of course, is, like I said, a very, very important product for Lexus, and I anticipate that a lot of you guys are watching this to know, is this something I'm going to be interested in buying in the future? Speaking of in the future, we don't have any pricing information on this new model yet. We also don't have any information in terms of a potential on-sale date. As you know, chips are kind of a problem these days, so no one really wants to dedicate themselves to a specific date. But we will update this video in the description as well as in the comments if any of that information becomes available soon. Anyways, guys, take care and we'll see you next time.